Right guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Baz and this is WELDERFABBER. And today we're going to start this episode down in Andover. Right down the bottom end of the country. As you can see there, Andover. And we've come all the way down from Preston and it's just took us 5.5 hours. So we are up here. And we've come to this little Merlo Telehandler. As you can see, needs a major repair. So whether these are common for this or not, I don't know, but I have had a few messages since I posted a post on Instagram that they are quite common, but you will never know really how much it's been overloaded if that has a big bucket on it. So looking at that, if you look at the top welder, that doesn't look like it's keyed very well at that side especially. So that's called a cold lap. So that's a weld failure in that position. And as you can see, it slowly worked its way around, and then in the last few days it's just broke off completely. And it has also snapped off the locking nut on the end of the rod there. So if you look in there at the end of the rod, this bit has snapped off. So we'll have to centralise that. Now then, there's a lot of stress in this material here. You can see all that stress there. So we're going to have to come back here where there's no paint that's flaked off. So there shouldn't be too much stress there. So what I brought with us is some S355 chassis grade material, bent to the same, well, similar size to what that is there, and also a sleeve. So these will fit inside nicely. Or should. Yeah. So we've got a sleeve there, can you see? So the plan is, we'll take it off first, headstock off, take the pipes off. There's an electric cable there, so that must run in one of them pipes. That'll run in one of them pipes, that electric cable. We'll weld the lifting lug on here. We'll use that little machine there, that little Kubota, to lift that off, get that on the deck. We can weld a new end on it, measure back, say 200mm, use 200mm, take 200mm off this, and then sleeve inside here before we lift this back on. So really we could weld that end on and weld it on the inside so it's stronger than what it is now. It's got 3 passes round there. You see that welds? So that'll have 3 welds on there. That is only 6mm material. So I kind of guessed the material thickness and I brought 8. So we're upping the size of the material by 2mm, which will affect the sleeve on the inside. But as long as it's a little bit narrower, that will allow us for it to slide inside there with it being narrower. So we could drill some holes in this and plug weld it back. So we've got the work cut out today. Callum's on the DJI. I want to get this done in the day because it's a 5.5 hour drive home. So I better get my overalls on. We better get this worked off, Cal. Not an easy one, but a good one. The harder, the better. That's what I always say. The harder the job, the better it is. So we've got the oil pipes disconnected. Which will pull out quite easy. And then you've got this third pipe here, which is feeding these wires. So all we'll have to do is do a little drawing of where each wire goes. so when we reassemble, everything has to be back in the same spot. So that actually runs in a rubber hose, which is that hose there. So Carl's about to do a little drawing. We'll get all the numbers. Each wire, each individual wire will have a number on it, and we'll just mark it up where it goes. So that's the pipes out, the electrics out, and the end off. So the first job, we'll get this cut off. We'll take a measurement back from this point back down to where we think there's no stress. Do a nice clean square cut. We'll get this out the way, and then we'll weld the end back on this. That'll just give us a little bit more room. So cut off, weld on. First bit, Cal. So this will be the big shift, and it might get to the point where we've got to stop overnight now then, only for travelling reasons, but if that's the case, that's the case, but it'll be done today. Got that end cleaned off now, marked up, as you can see where our new box is going to be positioned. Just put some little marks on with a cutting disc. Who's that one? WFS grab iron. Step by step, step by step. Top section cut apart. As you can see, we're going to cut down underneath this plate, so we can take a little bit more material out of this when we slide our new piece on, because it's thicker material than that. We're just having a bit of lunch, as it is now 12:48. There's a guy just turned up with some biscuits for us. Look what he's got, a little Shindower 200. How you doing, bud?
How you doing, guys? All right?
What's your name?
My name's Dan, Williams Engineering.
Williams Engineering. What do you do down here? Same as us?
Yeah, pretty much same as you guys, yeah. Yeah, all the same, yeah.
And that's a little Shindower 200. Where did you buy that from? Shindower Direct?
No, I bought that from Welder Services.
Welder Services.
Up in Birmingham.
What do you think of it?
Brilliant.
Brilliant little set, aren't they?
Yeah, brilliant.
Let's have a look at it. I've never seen a 200. Good little setup in van, isn't it? Just pull your exhaust out. Shindower, the best. Look how quiet that is.
Fantastic.
So you're a corded welder?
Coded welder, yes.
Yeah, what are you corded to?
All sorts, pipe work, plate.
Yeah, pipe to plate.
MIG, TIG, stick.
MIG, TIG, stick. So you could have really done this, couldn't you? Are you too busy or something?
Too busy.
Too busy?
Yeah, far too busy, yeah.
Everyone's too busy, all around the country, everyone's too busy. And we've just been called to another job back down south, if we can make it tomorrow, but I don't know if we can. Have you got any availability tomorrow?
Not tomorrow, I'm
He
afraid.
could do the trailer, Cal, could he? So we just got a new T-boom trailer failure coming that I'll put on cam for you shortly. And we might get there tomorrow, depending on how long this job takes today. We've got to stay over tonight. We could possibly go there on way back, Cal. Yeah. Look at him. That's most he's done all day, look. So how long have you been watching us, bud? I presume you've been watching the channel?
Yeah, I've been watching for a few years now, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
On Instagram and YouTube?
Instagram, YouTube, yeah.
See, it's always good to meet a subscriber, especially get a bit of feedback off them to see what they actually think about the channel. So what do you think about the channel?
Brilliant.
Brilliant?
Brilliant, yeah.
So we're trying to show the industry what we're all about and what we're capable of, and just what it's like out there in England, especially on the welding front. And I'll start following you. Are you on Instagram? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll start following you and see what you're all about. So check these guys out. Williams Engineering. So I appreciate that. I appreciate when people come to see us when we're on jobs, because we get it a lot, and find it quite a little bit humbling, should we say. What do you think, Cal?
Well, it's nice to see people, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to meet people all around the UK. Anyway, we'll get some lunch and we'll crack on. So now we've got it all prepped, and we've got a couple of plug holes back in here. Two on the top, one around this side. What we decided to do, we're just going to put a backing plate at the bottom here. We'll slide in there, and we can leave a nice gap to get a full pen on. We'll also, the piece that we're sliding on, we'll plug back to that as well. And then stock itself out here. We've got all the pieces prepped for this now. We're just going to weld the thread back onto the end of the little bar that goes through that hole. That just locates the rod. So we've got a bit to go yet. 20 past 2. Get in there though. We'll tack that on, Carl, then let's get this thread on, yeah? So we decided to go for the option of, well, tacking it on first. Got the little thread welded to the end of the rod there. And with that plate being inside that little sleeve, well, we can put a weld on the inside of there now. Put a weld across that top sleeve. I think what we'll do before we weld it up, we'll get this tacked on it. We did come across a little issue then with the box that we made. We're having this little taper on the end. But we've overcome it. It's getting a bit late in the day, it's 4 o'clock, 4:04, it's gone dark. And we've still a lot to do. So I think we'll weld a little hanger on the top of this. Put that strap through the hanger and lift that on and get it tacked on. Pipe it up, weld it all up. I think it'll be quite difficult though trying to feed these pipes through and getting it lined up with that pin and the wires. It's tricky, it's a tricky one. But we're here and it's getting done. That's what we do. Alright guys, so I'm going to be totally honest with you now, we've had major problems here today. We're finally overcome them and finally getting to the end of the job. But we couldn't get the rod to go back into the cylinder. For some reason we couldn't get the rod to go back into the cylinder. And with all the faffing about that we did trying to get it back in, we ended up snapping the thread off again that we welded back onto the end of the rod. So I mean it's now 9 o'clock. So, as you know, we set off at 4:30 this morning, and there's probably another hour's welding to do, and we won't be able to drive all the way home. So, we'll have to stop in a travel lodge or just have a kipping van or something. So we're on taco and we're down here, and if you're driving on taco, then you've got to, there's only a certain amount of hours you can do, put it that way. So I'll just show you where we're at. Cal's just doing a verse on that side there. Put 3 runs on the top there. Plug welded them back. We also welded the sleeve on the inside of this piece. So we just have to be careful now that it doesn't melt the pipes inside there as he's welding. As I've just had my hand in there, and the pipes are worn but they're not touching the side. This side, when it comes through the vert on this side, we'll have to push the pipes back over. So it's been a challenging day today, but a good day, because we like days like this. That you got to think a little bit outside the box. And I made a few phone calls to some of my pals. One of them was Lee Reynolds, one of them was Luke Forrester, one of them was Archie at Moorefield Plant. So I appreciate all you boys answering the phone, and it's good to help each other. If you boys ever needed me, I'd end up phoning you boys too. There. So when it's finished, we'll have a chat with the owner on cam, and as always, we will get paid before we leave the job. thing I'm really bothered about, and the only issue with this job really, is the rod on that ram. So really it could do with a new rod, or could do with the rod taken out of the cylinder, machining down, threading in, and then a thread winding into the rod with a thread coming out of it, if you understand what I mean. And then we could have put a little TIG weld around it, or even just Loctited it in, it'd have been fine. Then put the castle nut back on with the split pit in. So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that, because that is the only Achilles heel on the job. The repair that we've done on the end is fine. I mean, we struggle getting that rod back in. We just have to crack the pipes off at the back of the ram at the end of the day and push the rod in and just let the oil come out, as there's no check valve on the back of the ram. But I'm worried about the rod. So the only way you can look at it really is that the ram had to come out anyway. You know, the ram would have had to come out anyway because it snapped. I mean, it broke once as we were trying to get it on. But you know, we're wiggling it about that end, a bit of weight there, bang, it cracked off. It's never good welding a little bit. It's only 25mm of thread, that 25mm diameter, right? So I've told Bobby my concerns, and it's one of them. It could last 5 minutes, it could last a year, but I can't see it lasting. I can't see it lasting. Hopefully it'll last, but I can't see it. So which is a little bit annoying, because you know when you do a job and you want it right, really the rod should come out. The rod should have come out, or we could have got a new rod before we come down. I could have told Bobby to get a new rod before we come down, but we took a bit of a gamble with that. But that's one thing, that's one part of the job that I can't guarantee. Like most of the jobs that we do, we can guarantee the welding on the job's no problem, but we can't guarantee the welding on the rod. So fingers crossed it holds, but I can't see it. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that, and yeah, we better get finished off, Cal wrapped up and get done, because we're gonna sleep in the van. Okay, so this is the job boxed off. At what time is it approximately? It is actually 10 o'clock at night. So me and Cal will get Reds down in the van for a few hours. So he's just looking at his vertical MIG there now. Perfect. Shame to buffer that down actually, Cal. But you need to take it down where it catches on the guards, where it goes in both sides, top and bottom. Look around this side. Perfect vertical. You don't get much better than that, boys and girls. So as you all know, we don't really leave a job unless it's complete, and this job is complete. Although there is a few little bits, so you've got a fitter coming tomorrow, isn't there? Yeah. So this is Bobby, by the way, the owner of Rock Recycling.
Evening.
So tell us, Bobby, what you actually do here.
Well, I try to run the place here at Rock Recycling. We do a lot of recycling of construction waste with concrete and soil and what have you.
You've got a big screener out here, haven't you?
We've got a big screener here which we do all our topsoil with, and also we just hire in a crusher as and when we need it to produce our Type 1 crushed concrete.
How many wagons have you got? We got some wagons.
Yeah, we got two 8-wheeler wagons and a 7.5 tonner.
7.5 tonne. I've just had a walk around the yard before. It's got quite a nice big yard. So, what area are we in now?
We're in Andover in Hampshire.
Andover, Hampshire. So that's like a 5-hour drive, a 6-hour drive home for us, Cal. So we'll get Reds down in van for a bit, yeah? Yeah, but are you all right with that? Yeah. You can go it back. I'll go over at 3 seats. Yeah. So what do you think of our service today?
Brilliant. I couldn't fault it. Turned up here early this morning and just cracked the job out really appreciate what you've done.
I mean, we did. I mean, it's took a lot longer than it should, but it's got done. That's the main thing. You know what I mean? We weren't going to go home and or stop in a hotel to come back, really. Do you know? So now we can get Reds down for a couple of hours and just get back on the road, and that's just how we like to do it, really. So guys, you appreciate it. You paid already, haven't you?
Thank you very much. No, I really appreciate it. I recommend it to anyone.
Good man, appreciate it, and appreciate the people that come in to see us today as well whilst we were passing. And so yeah, we'll put an end on this episode here and now, and I'll just like to say cheers and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.